Look, there it is. Up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's...
No, it's a DC set with decent stats and powers.
But what about...
Except for Superman. He's still bad. No Indom. Got him.
Hello and welcome back to Dial H for
Got him.
HeroClix. I'm your sexy ranch and co-host, Calder Ness. Howdy, howdy, let's get rowdy.
My stuff.
Dial H for HeroClix is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day, including all the latest HeroClix singles and seal products. Make sure you check them out at CoolStuffInc.com. Use code DIAL5, that is a capital D-I-A-L, but the number 5 for 5% off your Cool Stuff Inc. order. Joining me in the studio, like always, Simeon Bruce. I'm just going to drop the lie when I say, like, good friend. Like Simeon Bruce,
Rival.
That's you, all right. Yeah, joining me is,
I hope.
as always, arch rival Simeon Bruce. How's
That's
it going,
me.
Simeon? That's you.
Cracking the knuckles. Time to get down to business. I'm taking your junior rodeo ship championship thing this year. I'm entering myself.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Yeah.
What junior? All right. All right. Like we start
Junior
off
ship.
What do you
Rodeo
junior
ship.
This is the. You want to do some steer wrestling? You want to do that, huh? There's no way. I would love to see you do that. It'd be awesome. That'd be hilarious.
They actually don't allow me to do it because I was so good. I would
rip
just
the horns right off the steer.
Yeah, I would just
Too
like
strong.
thump them in the head with my my fist, and they would just like curl up
They
and
drop.
put their legs right into like the lasso. So
Okay, steer wrestling. Don't use a rope though for it.
well, that's why I got
like,
disqualified.
all right. Every week we start off with what made us happy. Simeon, what made you happy this week, my man?
This week, what made me happy is celebrating all the birthdays. For some reason, 100 people I know are born in March, and so that's fun. Happy birthday to all of you. And the weather, it's been like you get 2 weeks out of the year that's decent weather, and this is it. So I'm
This
gonna
is
soak
before
it
it's
in while I
hot and
can.
miserable all the time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right on. I've been loving the weather too. What made me happy this week kind of also has to do with the weather is I went to a barbecue this weekend. Great family and some friends. So like that was just a great time. The weather was nice. We had a fire pit. All like the basic, like super basic stuff. Like whatever. The barbecue spread with the whatever potato salads, blah 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 blah, and just had a good time. Ate food, joked around, had a good time. I enjoy stuff like that. So without further ado, we have a lot of news to talk about this week, so let's just jump right into it. I know everybody is chomping at the bit to talk about some Scott Porter related unboxing goodness, and we also have previews from Lucky Dice and DaVinci DreamWorks. But first, we're going to talk about the ICV2, or whatever they fully stand for, article about the Avengers versus the Masters of Evil starter box set coming to HeroClix in June. It basically goes on to say that there will be 2 cards that match the HeroClix style. So there's 10 figures. The figures are going to be Captain America, Black Widow, Iron Man, Hulk, Captain Marvel, Mach X, Baron Zemo, Red Skull, Winter Soldier, and Ultron. It's
Ultron.
Why is that funny about the character choices
Mach
there,
X.
Simeon? Like, because it all says this set features characters from the MCU, and which all of them are, except for Mach X.
Spoiler
unless I
alert
missed him
for
in there.
anyone
Yeah.
that was really hoping to see Mach X in the MCU after reading this. As of right
shame.
now, I mean, unless he was like one of those like Easter egg characters where it's like, if you look in this window, you'll see a reflection of a robot suit flying by, and that's Mach X. You have
Like
to
how
pause
they
it
do, like-
at frame like 0.02. I don't know. I mean, I guess he just got lumped in. So.
I think so too. Well, it is pretty cool. So some of the sculpts that we can see, it's going to be the Captain America set Mach X, obviously, and Red Skull that we can see. I assume it's the same for Ultron. The Captain America in the set is the Secret Worlds Battle World one, and the Hulk is going to be the Professor Hulk. And those are the ones that we can see through the tiny little window here. This is the same big package they're using for their Fantastic Four and Justice League sets that no one can buy still, but we have seen what those look like. This is very similar to that. Like I said, there's 10 figures, but there's 20 cards. Each figure is going to have a simplified version that'll also match it. So that probably means the dials won't be anything too complicated, or if there are complicated special powers and traits, they'll probably be really tuned down for the learning how to play one. This is a 2 to 4 player box starter, and the price is still only $35, which is really cheap considering it comes with 2 6-sided dice, 4 full color maps, which is 2 maps double-sided, 18 object and terrain tokens like normal, and of course the HeroClix powers and abilities and HeroClix core rulebook, along with a scenario campaign rulebook. So that's really cool. A 4-person starter, and it's $35. Like, it's a lot of really good figures that you can get. Like, this is 2 boosters worth of figures, and 2 boosters by themselves are already $30. And this is just, I think this is a great deal. I think this is one of the better starters they're making just because of the sheer amount of figures plus the easier to learn cards. So if you had any family members that maybe were thinking, or family friends that know that you play HeroClix and you want to try to get them into the game, this might be the way to go if they have very easy ways to learn the game in it. But I like the idea. I like the box set. There's not too much else to talk about right now about it. That's basically all we know.
Yeah. The dice are black and red. It's kind of a cool design.
Oh.
I guess if you don't want to shell out the $100 for Ultron from the Cap set, or the $40 for Captain Marvel, but you still want the sculpts, this is the best way to, because it's the same sculpts from that. So they probably won't do the same things. Who knows what they'll do? But if that's all you care about, I'll definitely pick one up. But I don't know if I'll just have that Ultron sitting around, hanging out and stuff.
Making people think you have an expensive piece, where in reality, it's just starter set Ultron. All right. Well, that's that. That's Masters of the Universe, the Avengers. Next up, we're going to go ahead and talk about all of the previews we got. We're going to do 3 this week. I think all of ours are from Scott's videos. We did also have previews from Lucky Dice and DaVinci's DreamWorks. They were also good previews, but we just weren't interested in those characters, and we're not talking about them, basically. We're just choosing 3 each. So, Simeon, go with your first pick for previews.
First pick that I'm going to go with is the Joker. He's Batman enemy. I would hope so. If they ever make a Joker that's not Batman enemy, it's going to be a strange day. Real name, unknown. 50 points. Got 4 range. He's got the Arkham Asylum, Gotham City Underworld, and Justice League, and celebrity keywords. So what makes this guy so cool? He has 2 special powers. One is his speed power. On his first 2 clicks, it is leap, climb, plasticity, sidestep, and stealth. What a great tie-up piece. He's got poison, his whole dial. He has a special damage power, which is shape change. So he's got super senses, shape change, stealth, sidestep, plasticity, and leap climb. So he can get to your opponent, he can hold them down, and he can roll out of their attacks, hopefully. They're going to have to sink quite a bit of outwit or some careful planning into him to take him out. So what makes this figure worth talking about is his shape change power. When the Joker uses it and succeeds, after resolutions, you may generate within range and line of fire a Joker on click 1 that appears after the KO line. They have a 0-point value for all effects, including scoring. So we've seen this with Loki, and we've seen it with Cable. We've seen it with a lot of figures do this creation kind of thing where you can... the Dr. Fate in this set has a similar kind of thing. Basically... there is a separate dial. It has the same clicks, the first 2 clicks, as this one, so your opponent doesn't know which one is which, and that is something that's always fun to me. So these little Joker clones, the Oops, I Did It Again is the name of the power. These Joker clones will have the same plasticity, sidestep, stealth, super senses, shape change, poison, which is formidable enough. And when you're kicking it out on succeeding a shape change, that's even better. That's probably the power I'm going to outwit if I'm outwitting anything on him, just so that doesn't happen. But in case you want to start with 2 of these little clones, you can pay an extra 20 points at the beginning of or during force construction, and then you just get to add 2 to your starting line or to your force. So they still have a 0-point value, including for scoring. But the best part of these little guys is, let's say with like the cable, if you hit the right cable, he hits his stop click and the other cables go away. I think Loki does the same thing. With this Joker, if you hit the wrong Joker, he hits a stop click. So that's the little no cost. Like, I mean, you're basically paying 10 points each for him, but your opponent's not scoring them. Those 2, when they hit that stop click, it is boom, stop. When this click is first revealed, deal 1 penetrating damage to all adjacent characters, then KO the Joker. So for 70 points, I get 3 figures with incredible tie-up potential. Decent longevity. I mean, as long as your opponent's not rocking like 7 outwits. So I think it's pretty sweet. You can combine this with like the new clones to help them speed along their penetrating little thing as well. Or the new clones could activate the Joker's explosion thing.
Lots of explosions just going on everywhere.
Yeah, I like bomb teams. I like self-destructing things. I like poison inherently.
Personality.
Yes, it does. It's such a fun little character. I don't know if he'll see a ton of play outside of casual stuff, but I could definitely see myself playing 140 points of this Joker, which would be like 2 main force ones and then 4 of the like little sideline dudes. So my goal is to get at least 6 of them so that I can do that. And then I'd also need some sideline ones, so probably 10 altogether.
Right on. Yeah, man, stack up those Jokers, and him and Dr. Fate are gonna be like the hot like characters to collect. I haven't seen, there haven't been any other generics besides the 2 Cadmus scientists, I believe. Is that the only ones we've seen? And I'm pretty sure. So
remember.
Those will definitely be ones like collect during pre-release and all this stuff. Just keep your eyes out, guys. Keep them out. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Flash, 003 Flash, with real name Lex Luthor. This character has in Justice League, and Speedster for keywords, plus 10 points for a trait, which is when the Flash will be KO'd, you may instead replace him with 008 Lex Luthor on click 3, protected Pulse Wave. So they each only have 4 clicks of life. I'm not going to talk about the other one. It's fairly standard. This is Lex Luthor as the Flash. So they swapped brains, personalities, whatever. And this is Lex Luthor in the Flash's body. He has the Injustice League trait, which is the beginning of the turn, roll d6, give an action token to opposing character that's 100 points or less. And that's all he has for special stuff. Besides that, he just has hypersonic speed, top dial, some super senses, outwit, and then he rolls onto some charge with precision strike and then ESD on his last few clicks. He has the Injustice League team ability, and he's only 30 points. I think he's just a really solid 30 points, even with no other combat values. I just really enjoy this figure.
Oh, yeah.
Little 30-point filler in sealed. If you pull him and the other Lex Luthor, so both Lexes, both Flashes, then they can swap around, which I think is great. So that's a 40-point thing where they come back on click 3. I think it's really cool. I think you should definitely check these guys out. I love that they made this because this is one of the few episodes I've seen of Justice League Unlimited. I didn't watch a ton of that show, but it is like one of my probably my favorite episode for sure because I just love Lex Luthor looking in the mirror and he's like, I have no idea who this is, and that is already like those are his defense powers, which is hilarious. So I just really enjoy they put this figure in the game. Had to talk about him. Like the other one is just very like a running shot, like very other like simple Lex Luthor as a Flash. So you're not missing too much. But I absolutely love this figure. This is like a must-have for me in the set, and I'm very happy they're both commons.
Yeah, it's super solid for 30 points. And it'll be great running. Like, I can't wait until I get like most of this set, like most of the common, uncommon, rare of this set. And I can just run like a huge Justice League force. Like, yeah. Even though they won't all be great, like that Flash isn't taking anyone down by himself, I'll still be able to field him with, just a ton of other people. Next figure I'm going to talk about is number 031A, the non-prime version. He's an uncommon. This is the Question. Real name, question mark.
Ooh.
He's got the team ability, the Justice League team ability, so he's got that +1 to speed when he does a move action. He's got keywords Justice League, Detective, Martial Artist, and Reporter. 0 range, and comes in at 40 points with Stealth, a special attack power his first 2 clicks. Combat reflexes his whole dial, rocking some 17s that go to 16s. Outwit on his first 2 clicks, Perplex on his last 2 clicks. So he's only 4 clicks long. He's not there for a long time. He's just there for a good time. I don't know why I said that. He's got the Justice League Unlimited trait. Most people with the Justice League keyword are going to have that. So roll a d6, remove it from a friendly character with Justice League keyword. That's 100 points or less. Why is he so cool? It's because he's got a attack power his first 2 clicks that's called Asking Questions. At the end of your turn, Smoke Cloud at no cost, but only to generate 1 marker. That means he's always in stealth if he wants to be. And he's got Endom. That's why he's so cool. No, it's because of this other trait. Power. If there is no d6 on this card, roll a d6 and place it on the card. Whenever a character within 6 squares in line of fire makes an attack roll, you may remove the d6 from this card and replace a die in the roll with it. So we finally got what will be a reasonably costed 40 points is not like a huge investment. He does have 2 other support powers that he can kind of bop around with, and he's got like permanent stealth basically.
Yeah.
And we finally got a dice replacement figure that won't cost you more than probably like 50 cents or maybe $1. I don't know if he's really sought after.
His price cool thing, yeah.
Yeah, so
but he's an uncommon. Like that's the big thing. He's not a super rare prime or whatever. Like he's just an uncommon.
Yep, and we do know the prime version is going to be the Crimson Avenger, who, as far as I remember, is just kind of like he's just like a dude that wears all red and shoots. Like he's like Batman with guns kind of thing. I don't know if they will have any kind of correlating powers. That doesn't always happen with primes, especially when they're different characters altogether. But he might. Either way, this one, if you don't want to shell out the money for a super rare prime Q or just the regular super rare Q, or what's another figure that does it? Trelane, the other super rare. If you don't want to shell out like the $50 to $300 for one of those figures, you'll be able to pick up this guy for cheap and do the dice shenanigans yourself.
I mean, who wants to play Star Trek figures anyways?
Me.
I just hate Star Trek so much. It's just the worst.
What? Huh? I play them.
Oh.
Yes, me.
Okay.
Your co-host, me.
All right. So anyways, Vigilante, 048 in the set. He's clocking in at a great 40 points. What a nice value here. He's the JLA team ability, 6 range, no special combat symbols. He has the Justice League Unlimited trait, which is the whole roll d6 on a 6. Remove an action token from a friendly character Justice League keyword, 100 points or less. He has Justice League 7 soldiers and past keyword. He has a special attack power for his first 2 clicks that goes with Running Shot and his willpower that he has top dial. And that is going to lasso me up some bad guys once per turn. When Vigilante makes a ranged attack targeting a single opposing character and hits, you may choose that the attack deals no damage. If you do, give the hit target and all opposing characters adjacent to it an action token, and they gain immobile until your next turn. So he is officially lassoed up bad guys. Pretty cool. I like the imagery that provides there. It's really sweet. And then his special damage power that he has for his last 3 clicks that goes with his sidestep. He has willpower, almost his whole dial, but on his second click and third click, it switches to super senses. And then on his last 3 clicks, when he has sidestep, his damage power, and doesn't have the special attack power anymore, he has trick shooting. Once per turn, Vigilante makes a ranged attack. After resolutions, roll a d6. On a 5 through 6, make a ranged attack. So he gets to shoot again, which is pretty cool. So I really dig that. I think he's really fun to 40 points, especially if you can totally lock down your opponent's team if they clump up. Give them all action tokens and give them immobile is pretty cool. So I absolutely love this Vigilante. I think he's really cool. I know everybody wanted him to have a motorcycle, but we already have him with a motorcycle, so we have one that's different. That's okay. Don't worry about it. I really enjoy him. I was really glad how he turned out, and he feels really cool. Feels like a cowboy figure. So right on. He gets the seal of approval from me. That's for sure.
Yeah, I love powers that immobilize opponents. It's one of the reasons I really like the new submission hold that WWE has. So it's gonna be fun. It's a little sad that he can't combine it with his special damage power.
Yeah,
but
it's a bummer they don't overlap ever. Yeah.
yeah, rocking out 6 damage potentially on his one click is pretty cool.
Yep.
The last but not least
Here we
character
go.
I'm
Here
going
we
to
go.
talk about.
Oh boy.
One of my biggest wants from the set already, and we've barely even scratched the surface, is number 057 Darkseid. This is a super rare, real name Darkseid. It's got the Quintessence team ability, comes in with 200 point cost. Doesn't have secondary starting lines, which I'm okay with because I'll probably always play him at 200. His range is 0 with 1 lightning bolt, so it's going to be, single target, 0 range. But you're thinking, why doesn't he have range? He's got the Omega Beams. It's because it's a trait. So this is a long-winded trait. I'm going to try and do it real quick. He has free if Darkseid hasn't been moved or placed this turn, and if no opposing character is adjacent, generate an Omega Beam marker, max 1. He has free, so you can generate it for free, and then for free, you can roll 2d6 for each d6 result. You choose the order, horizontal or vertical direct path from the Omega Beam marker, and then place the marker exactly that many squares away along that direct path. If either path first crosses a square occupied by an opposing character, remove the marker and then make a close attack targeting that character regardless of adjacency, or if it comes into contact with a piece of blocking terrain, remove the marker and destroy that piece of blocking terrain. So this is great. It's a little free destroy some blocking, or it's a free use his 12 attack 5 damage, which is what he's got top dial. He starts off with 2 clicks of charge, 12 attack on both clicks. He has super strengths on clicks 2 and 3, which is so strange to me.
I hate super strength not on the top click.
Yeah,
besides that initial rollout, I almost never pick up an object.
Yeah, I guess the knockback is going to be fun. But yeah, I'm definitely not trying to break away and pick up an object after I've already charged someone. He's got a 19 defense with invincible top dial, and his last click, he's got a 5-speed flurry with 11 attack steel energy, a 20 defense with regen, and 3 damage outwit. So he's got some pretty decent stats all the way down. His defense does drop to a 17 from clicks 2 to clicks 4, and then it bumps up to an 18 on 5 and 6, and then a 19 on click 7, and then of course that 20 on his last click. He has a special defense power, which is impervious but succeeds on a 4 through 6, so it's a 50-50. He reduces penetrating damage dealt to him by equal or lower point characters, which in sealed, probably no one is going to be higher points. There's going to be maybe one figure that's higher points than him. Most figures that we've seen, I think, are lower. He's going to be one of the big beefy guys in sealed. But that's not all he's got. He's got 2 other traits. He's got Boom Tube Arrival, phasing teleport. When Darkseid uses it, his speed value is 12, and after resolutions, remove an action token from him. So he basically, you'd give him an action, phase to wherever you want to be on the map, then remove that action token. So he gets to just travel for free. Of course, if he's got 2 action tokens, he won't be able to get away. But you could totally charge in, give him the action token, next turn phase him 12 squares away, give him the second action, but then remove it. And so I don't know. It's just a really cool, kind of silly amount of mobility that they gave him with that. And then his last trait, Cruel Ruler of Apocalypse. He has Mastermind. When Darkseid uses Mastermind, after resolutions, heal him 1 click. So not only is he not taking the damage because he's giving it to someone else, he's also healing back up. And that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
He never goes below 3 damage. So his last click is 3 damage, but he's got 4 throughout the middle of his dial and 2 clicks of 5 damage. He's got Close Combat Expert on clicks 4 and 5, with an 11 attack steel energy, so he could be a 12 for 5 or 13 for 4. And then he's got exploit weakness on clicks 6 and 7 with 11 and 12 attack. He's just really stacked for what he does. And then the quintessence, so protected outwit mastermind, is going to be real hard to counter on him. Steel energy.
I was just going to say, yeah. And then... All right. Nice. Let's check the timestamp. We should edit that out probably. Anyways, I love that 20 defense that he has on his last click. It really makes me want to play him in a Bizarro game sometime, just where he has like a starting 20. You know?
Oh yeah,
it's great. His mastermind really
traded
sucks
phasing
too. Yeah, traded phasing.
Yeah, so you could phase, like if you did play reverse dial, you could phase up next to somebody, hope that 20 defense holds out. Next turn, outwit them and smack them 11 for 3. Like, that's twice, so that's pretty solid. But, yeah.
And then the Apocalypse armor is so dope with the Impervious on a 4 through 6. And then he reduces penetrating damage dealt in by equal or lower point characters' protected pulse wave. Like, it's going to be hard to put this guy down.
Oh, yeah. Like, he is equally as bad as Regent was, if not worse.
Oh,
because he's got protected outwit, so you can't outwit it. He can't take penetrating damage, and he can't take pulse wave. So it's like you just have to hope that he doesn't roll that 50-50. And then, you know.
Yeah. I mean, like, this guy's your sealed pick. Like, I think he's, like, instantly, like, from what we've seen of the set so far, he's definitely pull him and play him. Like, man, he's insane. What to fill out? I don't know. I don't think we've seen any other New Gods or Apocalypse figures, unless...
no.
Yeah.
There's a few Cosmic Figs.
I don't think you're making a theme team with this guy. I think you're just going to stack a bunch of support with him, probably.
Yeah, I'd stick like some of the Star Labs or something like that. Flash even. Just keep like some low point people next to him that can take damage because that's the thing is like they hit me off of my invincible. I'm gonna let them do that and get onto my crazy impervious click with my 50-50 rollout, and then if like I roll out, I can still. Or wait, no, I'd have to transfer the damage first.
Yeah, you do.
I don't let them hit invincible.
Yeah,
never mind.
What I'm saying. And like even when you hit him for invincible, you're gonna try to you're gonna want to do your max 3 because you don't want to have to fight through that grueling impervious mastermind for too long, really. And then it's gonna be rough. The only way to really try to beat this guy is to hope you can out action him, I think. But I don't know. He's gonna be a tough customer in Sealed, that's for sure.
Yeah, right now he is going to be probably the most busted pull because we know that the chases aren't going to be super tough guys like the cap chases were.
Yeah.
The Super Friends are not going to hold up well against Darkseid.
Speaking of Super Friends that definitely won't hold up well against Darkseid, we have my final pick. 071, the Wonder Twins. They have Justice League and Super Friends. They have the normal Trouble Alert trait. You read that on your own time. And then they have 2 other traits. One is Wonder Twin powers activate free. Choose a dark blue standard power and a purple power. The Wonder Twins can use the chosen powers until your next turn. 2 instances of the same standard power are redundant. We've known that rule for quite some time. So it's good that they put it there. So you can't choose double shape change and or for whatever reason double smoke cloud if you wanted to. But you could choose willpower and pen blast top dial with their sidestep 4 range, which isn't terrible. They do have a 10 attack, 3 damage. But now that we're talking about the discussion of how easy it might be for them to hit somebody, they of course have their occasional weakness, which is being useless. Our occasional weakness. Characters modify attack value +2 when attacking only the Wonder Twins. Characters modify defense value +2 when the Wonder Twins attack them. When the Wonder Twins damage an opposing character with an attack for the rest of the game, they can't use this trait. So that's actually really nice. Being able to get rid of that awful, literally crippling trait is good. At least they can get rid of it. They're not stuck with it. The only reason that I really like these guys is because they're 25 points for 6 clicks of life with, like I said, solid stats. Even if your opponent modifies their defense value +2 against them, they can also choose Mastermind. So even if they do try to hit them easily, if you want to keep them alive for whatever reason, I don't think they are really going to be targeting this 25 points. Still, 6 clicks to deal someone and go through shape change for 25 points really sucks. I think they are an amazing like support figure. Now, pulling this as like your chase, like the highest thing in your booster is going to be pretty lame in sealed, but I think they're great because, like I said, they have sidestep. They have both smoke cloud and barrier top dial, and they have a full dial of shape change. And the last 3 clicks, they have phasing teleport, and of course, they can choose a dark blue power or a purple power, which, like I said, probably going to be giving them something like willpower, pen blast, plasticity to tie someone up. Stuff like that, you know, like, or even if they get someone bases them, you can close combat expert them if you want, like close combat expert plasticity or something would be really cool. Like, even though they have a limit on what powers they can choose, and I love like the names of the few powers they have, right? So it's form of just plain water for phasing teleporter, form of steam something for smoke cloud, form barriers, form of ice something, and then shape changes, form of random animal. It's a bit of a bummer that they only chose purple and blue because like animal-ish powers are more like green and red, or it's like flurry blades, super senses, you know, or charge, super strength, you know, stuff like that. Those are more like animal style powers that we see like a Beast Boy or whatever bear characters, etc. like have. So there's not really a ton of like animal like seeming powers for this dial, which is kind of a bummer. But I think it works well enough. I like that the Wonder Twins are super cheap. You know, like the old ones were a little expensive, and they still are like $15-something to try to like buy and obtain the Wonder Twins. Something's on fire. Awesome. This is what we get for not recording at our usual time. All right.
I think that for their point cost, I'd totally play a Justice League team and have 50 points of Wonder Twins. You do 2 Wonder Twins, you've got your barrier, willpower, shape change, sidestep. So you can just alternate barriers with like the 2 of them. That's the cheapest barrier with willpower that we have in modern, and that's pretty sweet. So like they don't even have to worry about getting attacked if you barrier right. If they added like literally any other color to what you could pick, they would be completely like busted for their point value. For 10 points, if I could have like an empower piece with phasing, or like a pulse wave piece for 10 points. I don't know. Pretty much just like any option at like their 10-point line, other than
they're
like
both
smoke
good.
cloud.
Both of their point lines are pretty amazing. Like I really seriously like for the points it's great. And even if you do modify your attack value +2, you know, trying to attack them, you know, they can be barriered up. You know, they have shape change. It's awesome. I really dig the Wonder Twins. And then that brings an end to our news section. So overall thoughts on Scott Porter's unboxing. Really quick update. He didn't pull that many what are they even called again? Team up cards. Did he pull like 1 every 2 boosters? Was that like what it looked like? Like he pulled 5?
That's kind of like what like the feeling I got.
5 or 6 or like that was it.
Yeah, so I don't know if he just like ignored some, because I can't remember which set it was where he was doing an unboxing, and there was so much sculpt reuse that he kept like putting figures to the side, thinking that he had already previewed them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe he saw like a team up card and was like, oh, like I already had one for this character, and just set it aside, or I don't know.
Right.
But,
he might have thought there's only like 1 for each character or something like that. Something, you know,
that
normal,
is
that would be easy
my
to
one
collect.
gripe. Yeah, my one small holdout from making this set really cool is that these team up cards might be awful.
Yeah, they so far look like a total pain in the butt to collect. So yeah, it looks like he saw about 4 team up cards, which is rough for a brick, I would say. But besides that, I like a lot of the figures that are in the set. You know, don't get me wrong, I loved basically everything he pulled. It still hasn't convinced me to buy a brick yet. I think I'm probably just going to stick to pre-release sealed, and then they keep mentioning team events, so I imagine it'll be the set we'll be using for Battle Royales and team events at Nationals. And if that is definitely the case, then I absolutely will not be buying a brick or case of this set, and I'll just get it all from there, probably.
See, I think I'm the opposite. I think I'm, from like the previews that I've seen now, I think I'm at least a case in. There's enough super rares that I know are going to be more expensive on like the secondary market that I'm going to like really want. And I don't care that much about the Super Friends. I think the previous ones are better. But getting like enough Dr. Fates to do a Dr. Fate army or enough Jokers to do like a real big bomb team is probably going to be something that like I'm okay with pulling multiples of those. Hopefully I get multiples of those and not multiples of some other figure.
Absolutely.
And I'm not sure. So you're definitely not chasing the team up cards.
I mean, I'm for sure gonna get the ones that I think I'll use. So any team up cards that kind of go with like Lex Luthor or Injustice League style teams, I'll probably get. If Vigilante has any cool team up cards that I would even like use. Like I really don't care about him with the Justice League. I'm just gonna play him with a bunch of other Cowboys, so probably won't even need a team up card unless they make a team up past card or something like that. So yeah, honestly, definitely not chasing the team up cards except for very specific figures.
That's fair. Yeah.
What about
I was
you?
thinking about it and I was like, I kind of like want the challenge of trying to get all these team up cards.
Why?
But then I looked at that Superman, that number 001 Superman, and he has at least 10 team up cards. And I was like, that's a figure that I don't even want one of, let alone enough to get like all, 10, 11 team up cards that he has. I probably won't ever play him unless one of his team up cards gives him Indomitable and Quintessence or something silly. I guess that'd be redundant at that point. But yeah, I think there's definitely some characters that I'll just solidly pass on their team up cards, and hopefully someone I know wants them if I pull them.
Right on. All right, moving on. We're going to go ahead and do one of our fun favorite segments, but switching roles this week. We're going to have Simeon do a value corner.
Hey, Michael, look at this.
Hero click.
$8.
That's a good deal.
All right, take us down to the corner this week. What's for sale? What are you trying to sell me, Simeon? Come on, I want a deal.
All
I got
right.
money burning a hole in my pocket, but not that much money.
This week, it's not going to break the bank, but we know this is a character that a lot of people love, and this is a big beefy boy. Is what I'm gonna give you that hint right off the bat. So let's just let's go down the dial here. There's 3 starting lines that you can play at: 150, 250, and 350.
Ooh.
Let's go with the cool one, the 350. So there's a bunch of different stuff going on here. I'm not going to give you the traits because that'll give it away too easily. But we are starting with a 12 speed charge, 13 attack, 19 defense with invincible, and 5 damage. This character is colossal sized. There's 0 range, but you do have Indom, unlike a certain Superman. 3 clicks into the dial, you hit your first stop click, where for free you can roll a d6, and on a 5 to 6 you remove an action token from this character. Do you have a guess? Do you maybe know who this is?
Not yet, no.
Okay, then I'm gonna go with the next. I'll go with one of his traits. No tricks, no hiding. This character, strongest there is. Now it's all right. So that trait gives him Battle Fury. When he attacks more than one or more characters that can use Shape Change, Super Senses, or Stealth, you modify his damage +1. So top dial, that's just 6 damage on the onset. But his first 5 clicks, he's actually his whole dial except his last click. He is 14 clicks long. There's some form of super strength. When he's given a move action on his first 5 clicks, after resolutions, you destroy all adjacent pieces of blocking terrain and then use Quake at no cost. So potentially, just on his own, picking up a heavy object, you could do 8 damage top dial. And that's he's got 5 damage from clicks 1 through 5. This is just a really fun piece. This is the AI Uncommon Hulk, the 2x2 Hulk.
Right on.
He has another trait that is unstoppable. When Hulk is targeted with Outwit or opposing Perplex, roll a d6, 4 through 6. Until your next turn, he has protected Outwit and opposing Perplex. So he has a chance of rolling out of Perplex, or out of Outwit and Perplex, which is definitely like how your opponent's going to try and deal with him. If they manage to outwit his Invincible, they will at best hit him a few clicks down to his stop click, which he has 4 of. His defense values tank towards the end, but his damage never goes below a 3, and that's only on one click where he has a 3 damage. The rest of his clicks are 5s and 4s. So most of his clicks, the average is like 4.5 damage throughout his dial, with his attack value being 13 for his first 2 clicks, 12 from clicks 3 through 6, and then 11 from clicks 7 to 9. And then after that, he goes down to a 10 attack, he gets some sidestep, and he has super strength all the way up until the end. But being able to hit a stop click, remove an action token, hit somebody for potentially 8 damage, it's pretty solid. What are your thoughts?
I actually really
got any
like
questions?
this Hulk. It took me a while. Like, just right before you said it, I'm like, I got it. Hulk, hiding the strongest there is. I'm like, yeah, that's something he says. What a guy.
Yeah.
They're selling me a Colossal here. And even if it was from AI, even if it was like an uncommon, they still kind of sold those Colossals for a bit. It was still only one in a booster. I do like this guy, though. He was really hard to put down. I think he played a 400-point game one time, and he was pretty tough. He's a tough customer to put away, I'll tell you that. He feels super reminiscent of the Age of Ultron Hulk with all the stop clicks and stuff. He didn't have any crazy ways to like heal off of them or anything, but still, he was really good. So, man, I do like this Hulk. I do like him a lot. I love the mass destruction. It's just such a cool power. His Battle Fury with the shapeshifting super senses and stealth is awesome. Like, I just love that so much. Very makes it feel like he's like targeting Loki, you know, because it was all like Loki style powers. And just like slams Loki around in the Avengers movie. So I'm gonna say it is an awesome figure. It's a good desk piece, but it is still a Colossal. And I know you're trying to give me a deal, so I don't think he's like $10, but I want to say he's like six or $7 probably for the Hulkster here.
Not too far off.
Okay.
For one uncommon Hulk, at Cool Stuff today, you can pick him up for $4.99.
Ooh, $4.99. Nice.
Not a bad investment for just a solid Avenger Hulk piece. Like, I mean, he's got Avengers Brute Monster. So any of those keywords, if you just want a real big beat stick, if you want like a fun boss battle kind of scenario where your friend builds like an Avengers team and they have to stop the Hulk from rampaging, or, you know, just any kind of potential scenario like that. $5, not a bad investment.
Yeah, absolutely. What is it? Spider-Ham here says it's the best Hulk ever on HC Realms. What a guy.
There you go.
Hey, you heard it here first, folks. Go pick it up for a value at Cool Stuff Inc. Moving on, I'm going to go ahead and cover a hidden gem.
But wait, wow, that looks like a diamond.
All right. It's older, but hopefully it checks out. This is one of my like all-time favorite figures that I play with a lot. There he is, the Mighty Thor, Simeon. The Mighty Thor. What do you think about when you think about the Mighty Thor?
I think of Thor Odin's son of Odin. You know, it's right there in the name. Thor's Day, lightning, crackling thunder, hammer, all that stuff.
Okay, but you think about all the chases, all the equipment, Unimind, all those Colossals. Like in this set, those are what you really think about, right? A lot went under in this set, you know?
Yeah.
You know, you think about that Jane Foster, the Eric Masterson, all those good little helper figures. Yeah.
Mangog, the
all
bane
those
of my
terrible
existence.
Figures. Red Leader, all those figures that saw just a ton of play. But you know who got left out? Who almost no one seems to be playing, who I think it should see more play because of the amazing keyword selection. It's only 2, but I think Scientist is a much stronger keyword nowadays. I think it's getting stronger, especially with all this Justice League Unlimited stuff that we're seeing. Is none other than Zarko, the Man of Tomorrow. I absolutely love playing this guy. He has no special combat symbols or anything. He has 4 range, 1 bolt. He's got Sidestep, Pen Blast with 3 damage, 17 defense, ESD, top dial. His damage power, top dial, is to stop Thor, the Future Tyrant, probability control period. When he uses it, he can target characters with his Guardian keyword regardless of range and line of fire. Doesn't totally help. It was great in sealed, sure, but it didn't really help anywhere else in constructed. You can't really assume a lot of people are going to be playing a bunch of Asgardian figures, but it is a nice plus. But here's why you're playing him. He is 6 clicks deep for 55 points. He has a trait Time Cube. At the beginning of your turn, choose one. You may generate a time marker in Zarko, the Man of Tomorrow square, or place him into another square with a time marker, heal him 1 click, and then remove that time marker from the map. So every single turn, you just put out a time marker, and whenever he finally takes damage, you just whoop, he teleports all the way back to a different time marker. He heals 1, and you can keep doing that to heal him up to top while when you just sidestep him around. You're placing these markers everywhere. There's no limit on them. He's really hard to put down because of this, unless he gets shot, 1 turn. But besides that, I think he's amazing. For 6 clicks, he's great. He rolls in some super senses normal prob, and he has some last ditch effort phasing at the end. But for a sidestep pen blast guy with prob, I think he's great for scientist teams. I really play him a lot, and I didn't see him get a ton of play after the Mighty Thor came out.
No, I remember him being just incredibly hard to put down when that set was active. Not only does he have prob, you're probably not sinking 6 damage into a 55-point piece. He's probably not your biggest threat that you want to try and take out. And if you don't sink 6 damage into him, he's got all these time bubble things around, all these time markers that he's just going to start popping to and healing back up. So I remember him going the distance in a battle royale once, and got hit early on, and then just kind of stayed out of everyone's range. And then you'd almost think that he has a stop click because that 12 phasing pops up way more often than you would like to see it. He somehow always ends up surviving just enough. And it's a real solid fun.
All right. Before we roll on into the community section, I want to tell you guys about this really awesome HeroClix tournament opportunity that we're doing over here at Dial H for HeroClix. We postponed it a week. We're going to see if we can make it happen Saturday the 14th. If we get 10 people ready this week, we're going to see what happens if we get organized. But it's the Captain America Win a Brick tournament. You keep hearing me talk about it because I love it. To celebrate Captain America's 9-year return to a full booster set in HeroClix, we're going to be giving away a brick of Captain America. The format is 400 points, Golden Age, so a little bit bigger than your average 300 and a little more open / not so much open because of Golden Age. You have to play characters with Captain America in their name or real name Steve Rogers. This lets you play characters like the Captain or Capwolf, Regez, stuff like that. With Captain America in their name, it lets you play characters like the Captain America's motorcycle or, of course, the Sentinel Captain America when it's in parentheses. Certain objects and items are still allowed. There is a object or an item straight up called Captain America, which is the Captain America ID, so that is legal for play. You can play all of the equipment, but only to equip it to the Captain America that starts with it. So the Fast Forces Thor set one will get his Asgardian shield. The Captain America from ABPI will get his gauntlet, not Tony's gauntlet. You can only choose his gauntlet with it. And then the ABPI rare cap will get the Time Gem. So all that, don't have to worry about it. You'll be able, if you pay for those traits, you'll be able to get those things because those come with those figures. And that's what we're doing. We're doing that, and then you'll be able to play a full 3 rounds. We need at least 10 people before we can fire off the event. And like I said, the winner is going to get a brick. We're going to have prizes, first, second, third, probably, and then maybe some other things sprinkled in there. Fellowship for sure. It's going to be played online using our Discord server and then Roll20. If you have any questions, message the Dial H Twitter or Facebook page about the tournament. See if we can get you signed up. Entry fee is only $10 to win a brick. I think that's pretty darn good, especially if you're going to have a fun time. We're also doing that if you're on the Patreon. You can subtract whatever amount of money you give each month to Patreon to take it off of your tournament entry. So if you give $10 on Patreon, your tournament is free. Pretty simple. You get $5, it's only $5, etc., etc. Speaking of Patreon, we'll move right into that plug. If you think we give you value in your life, and if you enjoy listening to the show, go ahead, jump on Patreon, give us $1 or $2, whatever you feel comfortable with. We do giveaways every month, no matter what level you donate at. No matter what level you donate at, you can also be in our Discord server, which is really cool. And then we also give away stickers and action tokens for higher up levels in the Patreon. All right, that's all the plug-in I have to say. Let's go ahead and move on to community.
There are dozens of us. Dozens!
All right. Simeon, you want to go ahead and start off? Do you have 3 on Facebook, or how many do you have?
We do have 3 on Facebook.
Right on. I'll start because there's more on Discord. This is on me, guys. I thought it was a cool question. I did like our question this week. I did forget to put it on Twitter. So that is on me. I'm very sorry. I think maybe the tweet just didn't send out or what have you.
Calder just loves Discord so much.
Yeah, I love Discord
that he wanted
so
it
much.
On there.
Made it a Discord exclusive question. Superfan Lucas Van Hollen says his is, if you bought it, you can play it unless otherwise stated, except when we play Golden Age, we always put Felix Faust's band.
For sure.
He didn't say that, but I know that's what we do when we play.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. I know that some people online have stated that WWE is banned at their venue, and I just find that so sad because I feel like if you buy like a figure and you want to play the figure, you should be able to play it. But I'm not going to get into it. Tristan Campos on Facebook says, I run Golden Age Thursday tournaments with old school prizes and Wizard exclusives, and another guy runs Saturday's tournament, and they are modern and always popper unless a new set comes out, then it's sealed. So not a terrible way to play things.
Always popper. Interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've got options. If you want to play something other than popper, you can show up on a Thursday.
Right on. We have Vigilante, Banzai Tree and Sapling, says, no house rules as such for us. Build limitations do vary between 300 modern, anything goes, and 400 silver, anything carded, with no retaliation, no IDs, no entity and company, no trouble alert, to even wider niches. But the first 2 are common ones with the whole no retaliation, no IDs.
Yeah. And that's like all the venues in Omaha kind of have that as like a self-imposed rule. It's not explicitly stated, but most people aren't going to come to like fun game night bringing IDs and retaliators and super friends. So yeah. On Facebook, Matt Greichanos says, last round, 1 point over for every 100 points, no lanterns, BFC, feats, and either 1 ID card or 1 colossal retaliation. Every other Sunday, casual events. I actually really like everything about this. I like last round over last action. It catches you off guard less than last action. I'd almost like to try out the Magic format where you call time and there's 5 rounds once like they call time. So you say, like the last 10 minutes, you say like, time or whatever, 5 more rounds before the end of the game.
Oh, yeah, sure. Interesting.
The 1 point over for every 100 points is kind of interesting, too, because like every time when you go to build like a team and you've got the perfect like setup, but you're just 5 points over and you're just like, no, I really wanted this to work, but, this person costs 65 points instead of 60 points. That's cool. And then I agree with the no BFCs or BFC feats.
Those can get pretty ridiculous pretty fast.
Yeah, and it's just weird paper that you have to explain like what it's doing, and it just kind of, it's fine if everyone's using, like if everyone's aware that it's going to be used and they build their team to like withstand it and their team has it on there. But when there's like the one team that comes in with, like Nova Blast and some TK, and you're just like, ouch, my whole team.
On Discord, superfan Robin Caves, or Organis, whatever. Mostly just my personal rules. No starting on retaliation, no super friends on the sideline, no IDs, no resources, no feats, battlefield conditions, but ATAs are fine. Pretty standard stuff.
All right. Last but not least on Facebook, Chris Cooper says, Golden Age, play what you want, but no Book of the Skull.
Oh,
it's kind of interesting.
That's an interesting ban. Yeah.
Yeah. Out of all the things in Golden Age, Book of the Skull is definitely like a potent thing. But you also have stuff like the Millennium Puzzle resource, the Phoenix Force to a lesser extent. There's a lot of, like when you get into resources, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of game breaking for people that aren't playing with them.
Yeah. Especially people that are new and don't understand resources. It's really terrible to play a game against a resource. It really sucks.
All right.
All right.
Book of the Skull's just like, everyone on my team has a +2 attack, and the correct movement power that like matches their range.
Yeah.
So it's like,
All right, we're gonna protagonist Benjamin Umansky, as I am only starting a new venue this year. We have no house rules at the moment, but play is at a come and learn stage. They're having Cap Sealed coming up for their first event. His home house rules are genuinely no ID cards, no retaliation, etc. His personal house rule at the moment is play only Hydra. Hopefully, you're teaming up with the ADW Hydra cap to open up your field of Hydra a bit more. I think you could only play Hydra for so long before you double up on a lot of figures and a lot of teams and a lot of tactics. But that Captain America adds a lot to Hydra, making all Avengers Hydra. So very cool. We have Vigilante Chance McCall said, no way, no house rules for this wild guy. I just imagine like someone just like the most standard suburban dad attitude, like no rules for this wild guy, like I love playing busted figures. Like recently I played Unimind, Faust, Goblin King, a few Wendigos, Quinjet, and Roundtables just for the fun of it. It seems like, yeah, like we know those are all like good figures from our understanding, but they don't all necessarily like go together, like those aren't necessarily things you think go all on one team. So it's like, I wonder what the point value was that he was able to fit all of these. Like I know you can play Goblin King at 75, but still. And then Citizen Ethan Beck said, we play 300 point in Modern the first week of the month, and the rest is 500 Golden. We don't actually have any rules, but hopefully common sense on what is just too much plays part in the team. You would think some venues would understand what common sense is. Turns out not so common. Who'd have thought?
some venues get by with a little help from their friends.
That's right. Moving on, we're going to go ahead and go into Jedi Legends HeroClix Tip of the Week.
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
Jedi Legend says, a character given a free action cannot be given the same free action in the same turn. For example, Superman enemy who has Outwit on the dial wouldn't be able to use Outwit again via the team ability. Same thing, like if character's prob on the dial, they can't then be given an action token to theme team prob. Free action is for free, and it's once, no matter what other way you could be able to do it. So yeah, keep that in mind, guys. Free action.
Found that out the hard way with my Lex Luthor squad that I ran.
Turns out Lex, you can't, yeah. What, you're trying to like double Outwit all the time?
No, I just, like, all my Lexes had Outwits, and one of them was like, if something about the Superman enemy team ability and being able to give it to friendly characters with certain keywords. I was like, that'd be great if I didn't already have a ton of Outwit.
Right, that's true. He's a smart guy. He outwits people, man. That's his thing. He's a really smart guy. Anyways, moving on. We're going to go into some fan mail here. We have a question from superfan Oreganus. I keep saying that like oregano. Anyways.
Oregano.
Oregano. Okay, I don't know how interesting this is, but here it goes. He says, or they say, for Golden Games, are there any figures 3+ years old that have held up so well you keep reaching for them? In my case, he says, it's World's Finest Fast vs. Lex Luthor. Power creep might be affecting him a little bit, but whenever I just need a generic support leader, he is easily worth his point value. Extra credit if you got one that's 5 years older that still holds up. I think almost all of mine are 5 years older. What Simeon was saying before the show, it's pretty wild to think like Guardians of the Galaxy, Deadpool, or like Superman and Wonder Woman were all 5-6 years ago. Like, it makes me feel ancient that that's how old those sets are. Oh,
yeah, it's crazy. The stuff that's, because I still grab stuff out of Wolverine and the X-Men, not because it's like that good that I'm using it, but because one, a lot of stuff hasn't been remade since then. And two, a lot of like my favorite keywords and just like figures that I'm nostalgic for are from this set that's now almost 7 years old.
Ooh, 7 years. Yeah, 2013. Goodness gracious. We both chose 3 figures. I'll go my pick, then Simeon your pick, and then so on and so forth. I have when it's 400, whenever we play 400 points, and if it's Golden Age, and there's no restrictions, I have a really hard time, or if it's like figures only, I have a really hard time not reaching for the zombie team base. I love that piece so much. It is so good. Like, for just the team base, no resource, blah, blah, whatever added to it. For just those figures and what they can do, and, like, the synergy is so on point. Like, even though team bases are, like, way worse now than they used to be, it's still insane. Like, the zombie team base is still so freaking awesome. I love it. I love playing it against modern stuff where it's a bunch of one-click retaliators. Ooh, I love that more than anything. Like, that is so great. I think the very first turn, I stole someone's Mangog, and then had them pull the Odin sword because it was in the opposing starting area. And I was like, this is so awesome. I freaking love the zombie team base. It's so hard for me not to play it. All right, Simeon, what's your first pick?
All right. Anytime I'm grabbing an X-Force team, I always have to check and see if I have enough points for Deadpool, the original Deadpool set, Wolverine, and X-23 duo figure. So this is a charge, 12 attack, duo attack, with they can use Blades, Claws, Fangs, and Flurry. When using Blades, Claws, Fangs, their minimum D6 result is 3, which their printed damage is 3, so that's nice. You can't roll less than your printed. If they hit a character twice during a turn, they may use Incapacitate as a free action targeting that character. So not only can you Flurry them twice and deal potentially 12 damage, you can also then incapacitate them. The reason I love this figure so much isn't because they're 17 toughness and 17 super senses that goes into 16 defense with regen. It's because sneak and kill trait. Wolverine and X-23 can use sidestep and stealth. Unhindered line of fire drawn to Wolverine and X-23 during an opponent's turn are blocked unless Wolverine and X-23 have 2 action tokens or are adjacent to opposing characters not on its starting click. So if they're just out there all on their own without 2 action tokens, all line of fire drawn to them during opponents' turns are blocked. And that's just super fun. It means they usually get the first attack off. They have improved movement that ignores hindering terrain. And then their last, clicks 3 to 7, they have a free action, roll a d6. On a result of 2 to 5, you heal them 1. On a result of 6, you heal them 2. So they've got a like solid free action healing thing almost their whole dial. Leadership up front and solid combat values. They only have a 10 attack on their very last click, and you're probably going to try and regen on that click anyhow.
Right. I really like that duo. I think I've played them a couple of times before. They are really fun. Oh, Deadpool set was such a good set. My next book is Smoky Foot Cap. There's a ton of Captain Americas. I own them all. I love them. But it's really hard to not reach for Smoky Foot Cap. He still has really good values for 72 points. I mean, running shot with a 10 speed, 10 attack, 3 damage, 18 defense with ESD. Plus he can see through almost everything besides indoor blocking and walls. Like, that's insane. It's still like so many like good values like that you can use, and just his ignores is still one of the. I think it is like the best besides Cosmic Spider-Man, who's an insane 319 points. He still is like the best sees through stuff. You know, like it's amazing. I seriously love that Smoky Foot Cap so much. He's definitely seen more play than any other Captain America, and like it's hard because every time I reach for him, I'm like I really want to put him on a team, but I know I should probably play a different one.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So I just put like down a generic kind of thing for this choice. From the Flash set, anything with Speed Force tokens. So that covers like most of the Flashes in the set. It covers Rival, Reverse Flash, Dark Flash, Professor Zoom, all of those guys that got faster as they hit and got better with like willpower, penetrating damage, free attacks, more probs, all that kind of stuff. I just loved everything about those guys, and I still put them on teams. The most egregious example is the Professor Zoom at 150 points, who doesn't have willpower until I think you have to get 2 Speed Force tokens.
Yikes.
Yeah, there's been like plenty of games where I just never make a hit with him, and I just lose 150 points without it ever being worth it. So, but his combat values are still solid. His speed values are definitely solid, and I think the trait is what really gets me. Like all the cool, like they're faster, like they're more powerful now. You know, like that kind of thing. Building a character up. I love figures that get benefits from, like, you know, kind of like the promotion mechanic, where like you get like a benefit to sinking some time and effort into them actually hitting attacks.
Nice. Then my last pick is, I love soldier themed teams. Absolutely love them. They're probably my favorite team generic wise to build with. And I know it's Colossal Retaliator, but it's just because he's so good. I love putting the Atom on a soldier team. He's just like such a cheap 15-point soldier filler. I played him on like every single modern team for a while, basically until he rotated out, I think. Yeah, I mean, I had him on my Lex Luthor build, and then 2 or 3 other, like, I always put him on a team. I freaking love the Atom. I think he's great. His retal is he deals 2 penetrating damage to everybody within like 2 or 3 squares, but he also ignores shape change, combat reflexes, and super senses, which is just really great. So besides invincible, like, you're getting hit, bud. Like, I absolutely love him so much. Seriously, the Atom, so awesome. All right, your last pick, Simeon.
Very nice. The last figure that I will pull out for no reason, like, just, it's from Justice League Trinity War. And it's not the Trinity, it's not the Martian Manhunter. It is the 210 points Mazaz. He is just like this weird kind of wonky character where, like, if he works really well. If he doesn't work, then you're left scrambling to get the rest of your team up and running because he takes up such a huge portion. So this guy starts with Hypersonic, 11 attack, 18 defense with invincible, and 5 damage. He doesn't look that great far down dial. He gets some mid dial pulse wave, and when he uses it after actions, each opposing character hit by the attack have to choose a power it possesses, and all other powers on the character are countered until your next turn. So that's real fun if you do actually get that. But where this guy really excels is top dial. You have this trait, your death brings me power. When Mazaz KOs an opposing character, choose a standard power the character possessed on any click. Mazaz can use that power for the rest of the game. So let's say you KO this cheap little Black Widow that's like, 30 points, and she had stealth. So now Mazaz has stealth with his hypersonic. Next turn, you KO some character that had shape change. Now you've got shape change and stealth for the whole dial. So this guy he's got 7 range, a 10 speed hypersonic, 11 for 5. That means he can one-shot most figures that aren't like big threats, most like little support characters, and even picking up like an Outwit, Perplex, whatever, like on like the cheaper end. That's just so much fun, and stacking the powers on him, like trying to keep track of everything. I've had this guy so overpowered before that I felt bad at one point because I was like, I don't even need to pick powers anymore. Like I have everything that I could possibly use with a hypersonic guy. So yeah, he's a lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah, I like the Mazaz too. I think I've only actually played him once though, but I do think he's really cool.
Yeah,
all
it's
right,
just a somewhat decent mechanic.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's going to wrap up the community section, and thus it is going to wrap up the show. So I'm going to go ahead, read a few things, and then we're going to head on out of here. Dial H for HeroClix. Obviously, you can find us on iTunes, where you're most likely listening to this, or Podbean, or we kind of get spattered around all sorts of other podcast sites. So if you're listening to us, thank you so much. And if you're recommending it to somebody else and they don't have Podbean or iTunes, just check whatever podcast app they have. We may be on there. You can send us an email at dialhforheroclix@gmail.com if you want to ask any questions, like how Robin asked questions. Well, I guess they ask questions through the Discord. By the way, you can also send us an email if you want to. The Facebook is facebook.com/dialhforheroclix. Twitter is dialh4. That's the number 4, HeroClix at twitter.com. And yeah, you can also check us out on YouTube, where our live show, our live 300th episode show, is going to be living there in video form and not just audio form like how it is here. So if you want to check out some of the more visual gags that you might understand a little bit better if you watch it, and then you can also check out the live stream chat and all that fun stuff. So thank you so much for everybody that supports the show, who listens every week, and who supports this Patreon in any way, shape, or form. You guys seriously mean a lot, and I'm very proud that we made it to 300. And here's to 400. This is our first step to 400, I would say. So absolutely, that'll wrap up the show. Simeon, want to say anything before you read us out of here?
Nope. I'll just tag on and say that I really do appreciate the community. Everyone that was in the live stream chat and gave some of their time, and everyone that said like any words of encouragement. There was a lot of people that said they really enjoyed that. It's not something that we can do all the time because of like there's distance between us. Not just physically, but emotionally. There's a huge distance between me and Calder. And with that, Dial H for HeroClix is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day. I'm doing the finger gun thing again. Including all the latest HeroClix singles and sealed products. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com. Got a bunch of pre-orders that are happening. You get 5% with Dial 5.
Right on. Happy trails.